It's aviation's final frontier. Cowboy pilots who deliver small, used aircraft.
Why is this thing not working? Freaking A, man.
Across distances they were never meant to fly.
This is the most extreme type of flying you can do.
There's a right way to fly an airplane and there's a wrong way.
They take on the deadliest flights, ride out the wildest weather.
I can't see anything, nothing.
Every plane I fly in, I expect is trying to kill me.
And do whatever it takes to survive. But as long as there's money and fuel to burn,
Smell that jet A.
What was that?
they'll live to fly another day.
Let's roll.
About 80 kilometers east of San Francisco,
CB Aviation, this Cory?
a pilot embarks on a risky journey to change his own destiny.
No, you don't understand. We're set to depart tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Cory Benson recently walked away from a lucrative car dealership to follow his passion for aviation.
I knew there was a big risk, and I knew there was a very good chance that I wasn't going to make the money that I was making in the car business, but I wanted to do something that I loved.
Cory's new job, selling and delivering small second-hand planes. In the industry, it's called ferry flying. And only pilots with nerves of steel need apply. They fly anything, anywhere, anytime. From single-engine planes, through turboprops, and multi-million-dollar jets. If it has wings, they'll take it, no matter how far
Well, we're not in Kansas anymore, man.
or how dangerous.
Bro, that's bad.
It's a radical career change, but Cory is committed.
I'm the type of guy that when I decide I'm going to do it, I'm going to find a way to make it work. I never look back. I don't want to get back in the car business. I've basically put all of my eggs in this one basket, and I will make it work.
And here's the plane that Cory hopes will jumpstart his dream. This Merlin 3, a sleek turboprop built in 1980. Cory bought it in California and sold it to a customer in Australia. To pick up his check, he's gonna have to fly the plane on a treacherous journey across the Pacific Ocean. The problem is, the Merlin doesn't have the fuel capacity. So Cory's hired a team of aviation mechanics to install an auxiliary fuel system inside the cabin. A retrofit that will turn the plane into a potential flying bomb.
So let's go and check the system out. Now we're gonna stick in the aircraft.
Everything's new and unfamiliar, especially this jury-rigged backup fuel system.
So let's say that you want to use the right tank first. What you do then is that you open this valve here, and you open this valve here.
Okay.
The fuel control panel was built with a mix of aircraft, automotive, and plumbing parts.
Put this the way it should be, okay? It's gonna be this way.
And these two aluminum tanks will be installed in the cockpit, each filled with over 300 liters of fuel.
Let's disconnect this one here
It really looks kind of rinky-dink.
and put it on this side.
You're starting to make me a little nervous. You're thinking about that there's going to be 9 hours we're going to be over water, and we've got to control of the fuel tanks on top of that. I want to make sure it works. I want to make sure it works right, and that we completely understand how to work this.
So what happens if we had something with the airplane go wrong, where we lost power, where it wasn't powering either of the inverters?
Let's say you lose these two here. You lose everything on the aircraft and pressurization. You don't want that. You're in trouble.
That's one of the scariest part about being a ferry pilot, is you're in an unfamiliar airplane going somewhere very dangerous.
Most of the people survive. You know, some of them die, of course, but most of them survive.
This will be a steep learning curve for Cory, and it just got even steeper because he's landed another job.
Perfect. Okay. In the aircraft delivery business, you never know when the plane's going to be ready. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 flights that come together at the same time, which has happened here.
Cory was hired to move a single-engine Cessna 206, but this one is over 35 years old. So he's hired a top-notch team to take on the flight for him.
Well, you get a good feeling to see if she's ready to go across the water, which we need her to be ready to go across the water. So,
Bob Rasky has logged over 23,000 hours in every kind of flying machine, from commercial airliners to fighter jets.
I'll let you get up.
Okay.
You're younger and more agile, so.
His co-pilot, Yasmina Platt, has a fraction of that experience. Just 600 hours in small planes.
That looks good there.
But she's hungry for more.
Be here and going flying? Awesome. There's nothing better in the world than to go flying. Yeah, baby's gonna treat us well, right? You're gonna treat us good?
This will be the trip of a lifetime. A flight over 10,000 kilometers long, from California to Poland, across the frigid waters of the North Atlantic. And they've never flown together.
Clear, bro!
This first test flight will be a great way to break the ice.
The engine sounds good though so far.
It's very solid.
Anything else, Captain?
Nope. We're good to go. Gotta do that.
I'm gonna need to learn this one.
It's just one of many. One of many.
Okay, all right.
Whoa.
But just minutes into the test flight,
Look at that thing.
That doesn't respond.
the old Cessna is misbehaving.
Oh, it's not working?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
The left aileron trim is not responding.
Well, we tested them on the ground. They did work then.
The aileron trim is a hinged flap on the edge of the wing. It controls the plane's rolling motion. With the left trim stuck, the plane is rolling to the right.
They're coming down.
Okay, so descend.
Bob decides to land. But he fights to control the plane.
Good job.
We're down.
Could just be old. If it can break, it will.
Back in the hangar, the mechanic discovers serious evidence of neglect.
You know, it could be caused just by the age of the aircraft or just the fact that it's been sitting for so long. We thought we had a safe airplane.
It will take some detective work to figure out why the aileron trim got stuck, and whether this is an isolated incident or a sign of even bigger problems. Either way, this old lady is grounded.
You want me to keep running it?
Yeah.
From the safety angle, this delay is unavoidable. But for Cory's new business, it's a killer.
Every day we delay it, it costs us money with pilot fees and hotels and everything else. And so from a business standpoint, I'm always pushing the pilots.
With the Cessna in the hangar, Cory is pushing hard to make sure his mechanics keep his first delivery job on schedule. The Merlin 3 turboprop.
They're away anything. Be careful when you walk out.
The auxiliary fuel tanks are ready to be installed.
Just hang on.
Flying this tricked-out aircraft is going to take a special kind of pilot. Someone who won't get spooked by a couple of fuel tanks sitting where the passengers are supposed to be. And someone with enough experience to help Cory on the tricky Pacific crossing.
Let's get out of here.
It's a job for Captain Randy McGeehee.
All right, let's get out of here. Okay.
He'll be Cory's partner on this flight.
This flight will be the first time Cory and I have ever flown together. It's not normal to take such a big, difficult flight together as your first flight. Normally you ease into it with a more routine little flight, but we're kind of going for it on this.
Now that Cory's got a real pro on board, the full magnitude of this challenge is kicking in.
At this weight and at these speeds, the airplane's going to be very hard to control. So we don't control the plane, we've got no chance at all.
Most of the added weight is fuel.
And now the tricky part, not to spill. Smell that Jet A.
And with 2 extra fuel tanks as front row passengers, this plane delivery is definitely not business as usual.
Now, this is the first time I've ever fueled an airplane from the inside.
But just when they're finally ready to go, a heavy fog rolls in.
This is really low. We can't take off like this. Not with the weight that we're at. Not with what we're trying to do today.
I don't want to be stuck here. We need to get this airplane down there. We can almost see the control tower now. You've got different...
Control tower? Control tower's right there. All I see is a bunch of milky white fog. You can't even see the taxiway or the runway.
Cory and Randy haven't even left the ground yet, and already they're in a standoff.
We're overweight. We're not going to have great climb performance. We've got mountains out here. I mean, if things go really bad, we could end up dead. We're going to go when it's clear, and that's when we're going to go. All right, and that's the end of it.
All right. We're not going to do any more of these flights. If it takes us months to get the airplanes to our clients, they're not going to want to buy anything from us, and then we'll end up going bankrupt. We need to get going now.
Cory needed an experienced pilot for this job, and Randy McGeehee fit the bill.
So we need 3,800 pounds aside to fill it up?
But Cory's the boss, and that can mean competing agendas.
When it's outside of the airplane, then Cory's the boss and he's making the decisions. I follow his lead, but when it comes to inside the cockpit, I'm the boss and I'm calling the shots. And we're gonna do what I say we're gonna do.
Clear, departure's clear, clear.
Randy didn't like the look of the weather and delayed the flight's departure. But now that the fog is cleared, they're all set to go.
It's hot out here. We don't have as much wind as in our faces yesterday, but we're gonna take off. An event of an engine failure. We got a nice long runway here, so once I have the airplane under control, you can call tower and let them know. Otherwise, we'll return here for a visual land. Okay, we'll take off.
Just gonna use all the runway we can.
Normally, they'd be in the air by now, but they're halfway down the runway, and the plane isn't lifting off.
100. 115, 120.
The heavy turboprop sucks up 1,200 meters of runway, a lot more than it should.
Plane is just a pig, you know? No, that's not fair. We're just always so overhead. Yeah, we're 15,000 pounds right now.
They should be climbing 4 times faster.
The winds down here are actually less. Our fuel flow is higher because we're so much lower than we thought, but we don't have the performance to climb up there.
At this lower altitude, the denser air puts more drag on the plane, which burns more fuel. They'll need to climb up to where the air is thinner and keep an eye on the fuel gauges if they want to make it all the way to Australia. Back in California, Cory's second delivery is running behind schedule. The aging Cessna still needs a little TLC before she can take off on the transatlantic trip to Poland.
Okay, we're going where Bob is staying.
And co-pilot Yasmina Platt takes advantage of the downtime to prepare for the dangerous journey ahead.
I just want to see the survival equipment that he has. I'm a little worried about the weight and balance on the plane.
The flying time from California to Poland is about 70 hours, going across the continental US and above the icy waters of the North Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my God. You're kidding me. We're taking all this?
There's more. I just don't want to scare you.
There's more?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bob Rasky flies commercial airliners. But for 25 years, he was a U.S. Air Force instructor pilot, an F-16 flight lead, and a combat search and rescue pilot.
Sure, okay, so like...
He believes in coming prepared.
See what we got here. I want to see, like, if we can prioritize some of this. Okay, I understand some of the stuff is required, right? Like the rafts and stuff, which we don't even have here, which that's going to take up a lot of weight and space, too.
Because if it was single engine over the Atlantic, there were no options, you know?
I think he is a little bit obsessed, but that's what he's trained for, and you got military training, which I didn't, you know? And he's probably been in situations where he might have gotten scared.
We have to take the required items.
Sure.
And that's actually, a lot of these things are required items.
Even a U.S. flag.
Yes, even the U.S. flag, because this can give you motivation out there, give yourself a sense of, I'm gonna live,
Wave it.
I'm gonna make it, you know? Her concern is the airplane gets there on time, meeting a delivery schedule, and that's a very valid concern. My concern is the plane just gets there, period. In the North Atlantic, you know, with 10 to 20-foot seas, I mean, it's gonna be not easy to get that plane stopped straight ahead and just get out. I'm envisioning something hit, and we may even go upside down.
Right.
And that's the training we've gone through.
It's really kind of scaring me.
For Yasmina, the idea of a crash landing in the North Atlantic has just become chillingly real.
Once Bob started talking about, you know, we really need to take this, and, you know, we're gonna use this here, it just kind of started making me really very nervous, to be honest with you.
The next morning, Yasmina gives the plane a thorough safety check.
It's very serious. We're losing fuel. And, you know, that's just on the ground, but if we did go up in the air, who knows if we would be losing even more fuel.
A few hours ago, she thought Bob was being overly cautious, but the fuel leak has proved him right.
You see how it's leaking, right? Like through the fuselage?
Uh-huh, yeah.
That one's really weird. And then it goes all the way back, and then it's dripping down here. So really, we have two. So frustrating.
The airplane mechanic takes a look and doesn't like what he sees.
You could have caught fire when you're flying, the engine running. I mean, your exhaust is right here, right next to where it's leaking.
Yeah, fire is the second thing I'm mostly scared of. The combination of fire and ocean would not be good. Yeah. Although, I think I would still put it down, because I think I would still rather go down in the ocean than be burned.
Fixing this new problem means more delays. That's okay with Bob, because with his kind of experience, he's got nothing to prove.
You know, fuel, hot, metal, not a good combo, so we don't play around with that. The plane's not going to move until it's fixed. I'm not under the clock. I don't have any pressure. We want to get plane, us, there safely. #1 goal.
Almost 2,000 kilometers away, off the coast of California, Cory and Randy are fast approaching the halfway point on the first leg of their journey. So, it's time to make a critical decision.
Our fuel burn is higher by 500 to 600 pounds, which is half our reserves. One more strike and we're pretty much out of the game. We're really gonna have to consider turning around.
Ferry pilots call it the point of no return, when there's enough fuel left in the tanks to turn around, but if they go any further, there's no coming back.
This is literally the point. We gotta get it right, for real.
They've burned more fuel than they expected, and the auxiliary fuel tanks don't have gauges, so Cory estimates the amount of fuel they have left by checking the tanks manually.
We're burning more fuel than we expected to burn. We're 8,000 feet less than we thought.
Randy goes through another set of calculations before making his decision.
So yeah, that's 70 more gallons an hour, and we're looking at almost 8 hours. So that leaves us with 300 in the tank. But the winds are gonna die down and we're gonna do better on this. We're gonna make it up. We're good, we're going, we're going.
Randy's taking a calculated risk. But that's what this business is all about. And this time, it pays off. Today, at least, it looks like the Sharks won't be chowing down on Ferry pilots for lunch.
We're gonna make it, man. Nice job, El Capitan.
And now, they're dropping into their first pit stop.
Hawaii, here we come. So we're gonna land with a little over an hour of fuel.
Just a few hours ago, Cory wasn't so sure they were going to make it. Now, he's happy that he put Randy in the driver's seat.
Gear coming down. Got the runway in sight. Slap set. Hydraulic pressures in the green. Prop sync is off. Nicely done. It's a nice landing though, Randy. Holy crap, we made it.
Congratulations.
Right, thank you.
In Hawaii, they get the traditional greeting. But Cory and Randy are on the lookout for the gas man.
I don't care if we got fuel spilling out.
We don't care if you spill a little bit. We're gonna measure, and we wanna get a precise amount of how much fuel he's putting in, both tanks, so we can then subtract how much fuel we burned over the first leg, and so we know exactly how much fuel we burned.
They made the first leg from California to Hawaii with just 1 hour of fuel left in the tanks. Next stop, Pago Pago in American Samoa. And this time, they want to be dead sure they won't run out of fuel before they get there.
Yeah, let's get out of here because I can tell the way the air feels, it's really hot and humid. So as the day progresses, that air's gonna heat up and those thunderstorms are building. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Back in California, mechanics have sunk more than 10 hours into the Cessna. Now they think the old plane is good to go.
Hopefully that's the last thing that's gonna break on this plane.
Yeah, I never want to see this one again.
I'm just trying to get the airplane ready, and so now it's time to go.
That is beautiful.
And if the weather holds up, Bob and Yasmina can finally take off and start clocking some serious flight time.
Heck, crossing the Atlantic is much more exciting. In a small airplane, it's going to give me a whole different perspective of aviation. And along the way, I'll be thinking, how beautiful the scenery is, but also how deadly it could be.
And there are few places in the world so vast, unpredictable, and unforgiving as the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really big for my career. We're probably gonna put about 50 hours on the airplane between the test flights and the flights themselves. To this day, when I see some of these airplanes, it's like, wow.
I went ahead, went out, did the run up and everything, props fixed, fuel straighter's good to go, so you guys are ready?
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate
We'll see
it.
you.
Yeah, we're so excited. It's starting to really become true. All right, we're good.
Good to go?
Good to go.
The Cessna lifts off, beginning the first leg of a long journey. Destination, Poland, via the east coast of the United States.
So engine sounds pretty strong, right?
It does, I like it.
It's gonna be like 7 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours of it.
Yeah, so there's the Golden Gate.
Wow, absolutely beautiful day in San Francisco Bay. Now look, if guys can make it from Alcatraz and swim to the shore and survive, then we can make it in the middle of the North Atlantic if we need to.
You want to try it before we go?
Like you would.
399 can take off from center 1.
Oh.
Whoa.
20 minutes out, the old Cessna runs into a patch of rough air.
Whoa. We're getting this turbine. Whoa.
The first sign of trouble ahead.
Whoa.
Any rougher, these winds could do some serious damage.
Okay, your seatbelt on? Good?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
Bob decides to climb higher, hoping to escape the danger above the clouds.
Hang on. Okay, going up to 1,000, right?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Oh. This plane just can't climb, you know? I think after we top this one, we'll get a little better ride.
Overweight and loaded down with fuel, the Cessna struggles to reach clear skies.
Come on, baby. Bring us up there.
This nice old machine. Hang in there.
Cool.
There
we go.
In the clear, in the clear.
At this altitude, the aircraft is out of the danger zone.
No, whoa, it's clear ahead now. Woo! I like it.
6,000 miles to go, okay?
Yay!
But all it takes is one short moment for everything to change.
Oh, what's that, man? Okay, I got the airplane.
Oh my God!
As soon as they reach their cruising altitude, a heavy stream of fuel starts flowing out of the right wing.
Hey, Center, this is 2192 Quebec. Go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna need to divert to Santa Barbara or the nearest airport right now.
Is this an emergency?
Yeah, we have, looks like a leaking fuel tank,
112 Quebec, unable forward, your soul's on board.
2, souls on board.
12 Quebec, roger that. Heading's gonna take you to the south end for the airport.
The leak, it's still running. I wish there was a way that we could stop it from coming in.
The closest airport is in Santa Barbara, 10 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about electrical fire.
Absolutely.
That would just not be good at all.
Fire in the air, a pilot's worst fear. And with fuel pouring out of the Cessna's tank, all it'll take is one spark to turn the cabin into a fireball.
It's really, like, pretty bad.
Okay, so it is leaking pretty good back there, okay?
Yeah.
Bob and Yasmina have to get their wheels on the ground before they're blown out of the sky.
Okay, I got us going towards Santa Barbara right now.
All right, and I have Santa Barbara on the GPS as well, so we can just, use that.
Okay.
You got the airplane right?
Out of the airplane, we're heading towards Santa Barbara.
They're aiming for an emergency landing.
So you know, since you are leaking fuel, we are going to roll the equipment for you.
Okay, keep bringing me in. Wow, it's coming to the door. Okay, so what's the distance to Santa Barbara right now?
20 miles.
Will you be able to make the descent from your present position?
We can.
On the ground, emergency response units rush to the airstrip, preparing for the worst. They're on the ground, but still not out of danger. Bob unscrews the fuel cap to release pressure and explosive fumes from the tank. As the emergency crew takes over, Yasmina finally allows herself to think about how close they came to total disaster.
This could have been really bad. We could have had an electrical fire in in a second. And imagine on top of that, it would have happened over the water. Now we're really screwed. Now we have an engine on fire, and the only place we can go is the water. That's all that you're thinking, really.
Halfway across the Pacific Ocean, just south of the equator, Cory and Randy are flying straight into a dangerous roller coaster ride with a very scary name, the Intertropical Convergence Zone.
This is really dangerous. Turbulence down here is extreme. There are like little bombs going off everywhere.
It's like a deadly beltway that circles the globe, where warm sea temperatures lower the surface air pressure and create a massive, violent mixture of wind surges, clouds, and rainfall.
So we're either gonna have to punch through, or we're gonna have to divert a couple 100 miles, and I don't think we got the fuel for that. Holy crap! Feel that?
Well, we get severe turbulence, especially with how heavy we are. The wing can be damaged. I'm gonna slow it down here.
Okay.
Randy cuts back on the throttle and reduces their speed, but the wind resistance will cost them fuel.
In case we run into any really bad bumps, we won't break our airplane.
They've traveled more than 6,000 kilometers since leaving Hawaii, and after a quick refuel in American Samoa, they're nearing their next pit stop in New Caledonia. So Cory tries to contact the small island's airport.
Damn it. Why is this thing not working?
But the signal goes dead.
There's no one out there. Freaking hey, man.
His last option is the satellite phone.
You're not gonna believe this. The runway's closed. Our runway at New Caledonia is closed? Are you messing with me? No, I'm not. She said that the runway's closed and it's not gonna be open until at least 0530. You're serious? Yeah, I'm dead serious. All right, I can't believe this.
It's starting to look like Cory and Randy are flying on borrowed time. On the other side of the Pacific Ocean, back in California, the tired old Cessna with a leaky fuel tank is going in for yet another checkup.
You can bring it over this way a little more.
The leak forced Bob and Yasmina to make an emergency landing, but it could just as easily have blown them out of the sky.
You see right where the nipple goes into it, see at the base, right at
The plane's two main fuel tanks are made of thick rubber and mounted inside each wing.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, no, the whole nipple is cracked off. You can really see it now. Here, it's supposed to be behind the strut, which would be a negative pressure area.
That probably means the bladder is deteriorated inside, too, as well.
The tank probably hadn't been kept full, so the tank is made out of rubber and it dries out.
An old mothballed airplane coming out of storage can become a lethal booby trap for even the best of pilots.
If it had happened over the Atlantic Ocean, it would have been ugly, because there's no place to land there.
Our first impression of her, let's put it that way, is not very good. She just needs to treat us a little better. At this point, we're kind of low, you know, on energy and on confidence.
Across the Pacific Ocean, above New Caledonia, pilots Randy McGeehee and Cory Benson are circling above a small airport.
There's our island right there, huh? Runway is closed.
They have no choice but to stay in the air and keep burning precious fuel.
Close the runway in the middle of the ocean where we have no other options for maintenance. It didn't tell us until now. I don't want to sit out here and hold for an hour and find out that they're not going to open it.
Randy and Cory have no idea why the landing strip is closed. If there's a problem with the runway, ground control is not saying.
Really puts a lot of stress on us. I mean, with this runway down, we have to divert. All of a sudden, fuel, where we're sitting nice and fat with it, all of a sudden it becomes a major issue.
So Randy radios in a request.
We'd like to descend for landing, 300 Alpha Lima.
So, what are your intentions?
We'd like to descend for landing, 300 Alpha Lima.
Now runway is open. Call me back on the right-hand downwind, 11.
Only moments after denying permission to land, the New Caledonia flight tower opens the runway. Crisis averted.
Thanks for putting me in the middle of nowhere, buddy.
An ocean away on the west coast of the United States.
That's what it should look like.
That's what it should look like.
Mike the mechanic is showing off a brand new fuel bladder to Bob and Yasmina.
That would be what I would call an accident waiting to happen. It's lucky that you had 150 gallons on board.
The new fuel tank can be installed in less than a day. But now the pilots are wondering if the old plane is hiding any more dangerous secrets.
You know, once we start going over the ocean, we can't have these issues. If we had that going on yesterday, we would have been on the water.
You know, from our perspective there, I'm starting to feel a little bit like on a train that's losing parts along the way. So the bottom line is if we don't like the direction the airplane goes here in the next day or so, then we say no, period.
Bob gets in touch with the boss.
Hey, we're down here at Santa Barbara, and
He's hoping he can convince Cory to pay for another complete inspection.
you know, this is hitting the third strike here, so we're not moving further till it's totally exonerated and checked.
Now, I'm glad you guys are okay, and I'm glad you guys got the plane on the ground safely, but we need to get it back in the air. The company needs it in Poland as soon as possible.
Personally, I'm not comfortable moving forward with this airplane until it's thoroughly checked by an independent source again.
We're hired to move the airplane. We're not hired to do additional inspections. This aircraft has already had 2 previous inspections and deem it safe, so I don't know why we're doing additional inspections and wasting more time when we've got the skydive company in Poland super frustrated wanting their plane right now.
Cory's time is Cory's money, and he knows that if a good mechanic looks hard enough, he can always find something to fix.
We're surrounded by this concept of go, go, go. Time is something I can control just by saying yes or no. And by saying no, it gives me the time to make sure that everything's right. And it's about being right.
But Cory's not all business. He's also a pilot. So he finally chooses to listen to his better instinct and agrees to the additional round of inspections.
Because this is our last good check, you know, and you guys have been all over it, so.
Yep, no problem.
And if it costs Cory,
good.
At least it keeps Bob happy.
I was a mechanic in the military, and they're gonna feel that pressure from me all the way until we go, because we are not departing unless I feel happy that the airplane's good to go and ready.
Over 10,000 kilometers away, Cory can now shift his attention back to his own delivery.
Yeah, it was a little stressful in many parts of the flight, but be ready for a cocktail tonight.
The corporate turboprop is now only 1,000 kilometers from its final destination, Sydney, Australia.
This is it, man. Going into Sydney here. I'm a little tired right now, but I can't wait to do it again. Holy crap, that's not good. That light means we have 10 minutes left of fuel. Holy jeez.
The warning light indicates that the transfer fuel pump is malfunctioning and their auxiliary fuel is not getting to the left engine.
I don't want to be freaking swimming in the ocean, dude.
They have 10 minutes of fuel left in that engine. When it runs dry, the engine will fail.
We're expecting the left side, that's going to be this switch. The fuel shut-off switch, we're going to close. Hydraulic shut-off switch, close.
With one engine down, the plane will lose altitude, and Randy will have to ditch in a controlled crash landing on the water.
Right now, at any time if it's going to go. It's been 10 minutes. Okay, fuel pressure steady. Fuel flow steady. All indications are normal right now. Feel that?
The low vibration reverberates through the plane. It sounds like they just lost the left engine.
Oh, maybe we still show we have fuel. That's something. That thing scared the crap out of me. Come on, baby.
The minutes pass. The engines continue to fire. The problem seems to be a faulty warning light.
Thank God. It's the longest 10 minutes of my life. Yeah. I think we're out of the danger zone, so let's just keep going ahead here, okay? Okay, awesome.
Back in the United States, a leaky fuel tank has been replaced. And now Bob and Yasmina think they might be able to coax the old plane into taking off and heading out for the long haul across the ocean.
So Mike and Kim, would you take this airplane to Poland now when it leaves the hangar?
Sure. The two pilots have been trying to put California in their rearview mirror for over a week now.
it's good to catch all these things before we go, because my confidence goes better now.
And I'll tell you, once we make it to Midland with no issues, then I'll feel even better.
Well, we still got 3,000 miles to go. It's a long way.
Another issue than this next leg, that's probably it for me.
But it looks like today might be the day. The mechanics have signed off on the plane, and the pilots are ready to take the aging Cessna across the continental U.S. with 2 pit stops, one in Texas and the other in Tennessee. By nightfall, they should be in Rhode Island.
I'm just to the point that it's like I value my life more than one trip, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully, we don't have any more issues with it.
On the other side of the Pacific Ocean.
We're over land, holy!
Cory and Randy have made it to the finish line of their 12,500-kilometer journey to Sydney, Australia.
Thank God.
The Merlin 3 corporate turboprop will be Cory's first international delivery.
Nicely done.
Woohoo! Cory knows he couldn't have done it without Randy.
People can say whatever they want about it. I mean, you and I did it. We brought this thing across an ocean. Fuel problems, airplane problems, weather problems, with just little teeny postage stamps of land in between. A plane that's not made to do that. And we did it, What a trip.
I feel great. I got goosebumps right now. It's a fun trip, great trip, good to be here. It was an adventure of a lifetime.
Minutes after touchdown, Cory gets ready to meet a happy customer. And for the first time since he took off, he's starting to feel confident that his new business is going to fly.
Very excited to see this airplane. I can't wait to see his face. He's going to be very happy with it.
This airplane, all in all, is a very nice aircraft.
Wow!
I think it exceeds all of his expectations.
Thanks so much. It's gonna sit on my desk. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Hope it was worth the wait there,
I thought it was just going to be, sit up there and set the autopilot and read a magazine, hang out, and that definitely was not the case. This trip is probably one of the most dangerous trips you can do.
Back up north, Bob and Yasmina have made it to Rhode Island.
We are here. It's nice to
Good job.
touch ground.
Very good, very good, very good. Here.
Yeah, it was good flight.
You did very nice.
And she did as well.
So how you feeling about the plane, man?
A lot better.
But their confidence will be short-lived.
I'll show you the filter over here. This is all, it's some steel, but most of it's aluminum. There's too much in here.
During post-flight maintenance, mechanics discovered the biggest problem yet.
Oh my God. I've never seen this much. So where could it be coming from?
Well, this steel could be from the cam followers, a part of the cam.
Bob asked the mechanic to perform an oil change, and he discovered metal filings in the engine.
Okay, because that's where the steel component is, right? So would you feel comfortable flying this across the North Atlantic right now?
Absolutely not.
So what do you recommend?
The engine needs to be taken apart, or another engine, period. If I was doing an annual on this would be unairworthy, period. Okay.
Wow.
It's unairworthy.
Next time on Dangerous Flights.
That's not how it works.
We cannot authorize work on someone else's airplane.
The tired old Cessna becomes too high maintenance, and her pilots threaten to walk.
It might be time to hand it off to somebody else.
And a new delivery job is heading straight into the path of a monster hurricane.
Oh my God, lightning strike.
It's aviation's final frontier. Cowboy pilots who deliver small, used aircraft.
You see how it's leaking through the fuselage?
Across distances they were never meant to fly.
If it had happened over the Atlantic Ocean, it would have been ugly.
That's not good.
There's a right way to fly an airplane and there's a wrong way.
And as long as there's money and fuel to burn,
We don't care if you spill a little bit.
they will fly anything,
To this day, when I see some of these airplanes, it's like, wow.
anywhere,
I took that plane where it was never meant to go.
anytime.
Holy crap, we made it.
At a small airport in Rhode Island, pilots Bob Rasky and Yasmina Platt have run into big trouble.
An oil change is a normal thing. We were low on oil anyway.
They were hired to jockey a 36-year-old single-engine Cessna from California to Poland. A flight over 10,000 kilometers long that will take them across the frigid waters of the North Atlantic. But the job is starting to look like a suicide mission. First, it was the left flap.
Whoa. Look at that thing. Oh, it's not working?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Then, a fuel leak.
Oh my God.
Okay, so it is leaking pretty good back there. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just concerned about electrical fire.
We're gonna need to divert the nearest airport right now.
Now, metal filings in the oil filter indicate the engine is falling apart.
Oh my God.
Would you feel comfortable flying this across the North Atlantic?
Absolutely not.
So what do you recommend?
It's unairworthy.
For Bob, this is the third and last strike. He refuses to fly this plane again without a thorough maintenance job.
It's actually recommended by anybody ferrying across the North Atlantic to do that at least 2 or 3 times before you go, including doing soap analysis. That's recommendations.
His boss, Cory Benson, disagrees.
That's not how it works. We cannot authorize work on someone else's airplane. Let's say they find something. Are you going to pay to fix it? Because the owner could just as easily say, well, you guys authorized the inspection. I'm not paying for it. You pay for it. And I know sure as hell I'm not going to pay for it.
Cory's in the business of delivering planes, not fixing them. But with his hired guns ready to bail, he's got no choice but to talk to the mechanic.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Here you go.
The verdict: the engine needs an overhaul. This plane delivery has already been delayed by a week. And in Poland, the client is running out of patience.
We are paying for the Cessna, and we have to pay also the rental aircraft. So we're paying double. That's why we desperately needed that plane.
She'll keep losing money until Cory delivers the plane. But now, his pilots have second thoughts about finishing the job.
It's easy enough to acquiesce to the fact that we got it here, we got to a certain point, it might be time to hand it off to somebody else. Heading home.
Cory's pilots are throwing in the towel.
Bob and I have done everything we can, and we've brought it as far as it would let us. It needs another doctor to look at her.
They're calling it quits. And Cory's finding out that running a plane delivery business can be more stressful than flying.
I don't know what's going to happen. First thing is it's more delays, period. I mean, it could be as simple as just a new cylinder they need to put on it. But if it needs a new engine, it's at least 2-3 weeks.
Worse, the grounded Cessna is just half of Cory's nightmare. Now he's got another job to get off the ground, and another client who wants the plane delivered yesterday.
When the plane's ready, the client expects you to be ready and to leave right then. I cannot tell them that they have to wait another week or 2 weeks because I'm doing another flight. They want their plane now, and so we have to have other pilots ready to go that are trained in the airplane that can ferry it if I'm busy.
Cory thinks he's got the right guy to take on this new job. Carrie McCauley owns a skydiving school in Wisconsin. Over a decade ago, Carrie made his living delivering planes across the globe. And he signed on with Cory to find out if he's still got the nerve to do his old job once again.
I've crossed the ocean many times, flown over Africa, Europe, Middle East. If I screw this one up, all the people that know me and have heard all my glorious stories over the years are going to be snickering behind my back or to my face. That was a blast. I needed that.
Cory might be a little rusty, but he's no rookie.
Some pilots, they call the office and call the boss every 10 minutes. They want every decision made for them. They want help. They want their hand held all the way across.
There she is.
If I don't bother Cory, if I just get the job done with the minimum amount of interference and with the minimum amount of money, he'll be impressed.
Good morning, guys. George Johnson.
Hey, George. Cory McCauley.
Cory.
Stu Sprung.
Stu, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Stu Sprung will be Cory's co-pilot. And this morning, he's meeting the plane for the first time.
For what the doctor intends it.
For me, it'll be definitely uncharted waters. Flying over the Amazon, I'm not quite sure how that's going to make me feel.
It's a very low-time airplane. It's got about 2,000 hours total time.
What year is it?
It's 1989.
This is a Beechcraft Bonanza. Based on World War II fighter plane technology, the Bonanza has been in production for over half a century. It's a close cousin of the first Bonanza, which killed musicians Buddy Holly and Ritchie Valens in 1959.
You know, it's hard to see problems in some of these planes when they've washed them and waxed them and detailed them like that.
Flying a plane for someone else is a lot like a high-altitude blind date. The pilots never really know what they're getting into.
People have told us this is a great plane, it's in great condition, fresh out of its annual inspection, but I need to see for myself.
And sometimes, even the best airplanes have a dirty little secret.
You hear that? It sounds like something's rubbing. Yeah, it's loudest right here.
Last thing is we need is for one of those rods to wear all the way through, and we're halfway over Brazil.
They'll need to get this fixed before they can take off. They've got a long flight ahead. Almost 8,000 kilometers from Greensboro, North Carolina, to Porto Alegre in Brazil.
So you're saying from St. Bart's to Grenada to Georgetown, and you want to make Macapa in the same day?
That's gonna be tough.
That would have to be a perfect day. That's about 1,400 miles.
And according to the latest forecasts, the only thing perfect about the upcoming weather is a perfect storm. A monster hurricane lurking on the outskirts of Cory and Stu's flight path.
We don't need to have the whole conversation about being pessimistic. We're optimistic. We're gonna make it.
I'm gonna do a parallel plan. I'm gonna call it the realistic plan.
Stu knows that flight plans almost always change. But what's really bugging him is a problem that he can't fix.
It just irritates me to even have to even think about it.
I mean, ain't that the way it goes? You know, the one big key commitment you have.
Stu is a retired firefighter. Every year since the 9/11 terror attacks, he's joined his fellow firefighters for a memorial. And he took this job on one condition, that he could be in New York City for the 10th anniversary.
That was a very devastating time. I worked there with the New York City firefighters. Some of my best friends were New York City firefighters that passed away that day. We made a pledge never to forget. And so if I'm not there because I'm flying an aircraft to Brazil, it'll tear away at me. I just don't even want to have to deal with that.
We're a team. Take care of each other. And your well-being is my well-being.
That's true.
So let's talk about both our well-beings in this freaking hurricane that's bearing down on us.
A hurricane of this size could shatter a small plane in a few seconds. So the only way to survive it is to find a way around it.
We better boogie. Nice.
Yeah.
If Stu has any chance to make it back to New York in time, they have to get to the first stop before the hurricane.
Game plan is just trying to get ahead of it. The irony is if to beat the hurricane, we have to fly right at it.
Gear up. And we're out.
In Rhode Island, the delivery of a 36-year-old Cessna 206 is in jeopardy. And Cory Benson is here because his pilots walked out. Now the boss has no choice but to finish the job himself.
I had to drop everything to get out here and finish the flight. So it's frustrating, but my company's reputation is riding on this flight. I got to get the aircraft there. Hey, Joe. Cory Benson.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Randy McGee. Welcome to Rhode Island. Nice.
Cory's convinced his friend and expert pilot, Randy McGee, to lend him a hand. This isn't the first time Randy has been a lifesaver. He piloted Cory's first delivery, a dangerous flight from California to Australia.
Whoa. Slow it down here, okay, in case we run into any bad bumps. We won't break our airplane.
Things got a little bumpy over the Pacific.
That light means we have 10 minutes left of fuel. I don't want to be freaking swimming in the ocean, dude.
They both lived to tell the tale.
Holy crap, we made it.
And now, Randy's back for more.
How's she look? She looks pretty good now. I mean, we've changed the engine in it. As far as used engines go, it's about the best you're gonna get. I did everything I could, test flying it, running it on the ground. It's all yours now.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
The refurbished engine might give the plane a second life, or turn this trip into the last fatal flight.
The plane definitely has some major issues, and that's a big red warning light walking into this situation. But I can't let that cloud my evaluation of the airplane right now as the airplane sits there.
When Cory and Randy leave Rhode Island, they'll begin a deadly game of hopscotch to get to Poland, landing on remote airstrips when their fuel runs low over the cold North Atlantic, where even a small storm can turn the little airplane into a cocktail shaker. That's why both pilots signed up for a 2-day survival course before the flight.
All right, once you sit down, grab your seatbelt.
Yeah, it's a little bit of excitement with some nervousness mixed in there. Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna hear me say ditching, ditching, ditching.
Ditching is the controlled landing of a plane on water. But for the pilots, it's code for life or death.
We're gonna lower down underwater and submerge. Great reference point for you to use to find that jettison handle is a reference right off of your knee.
It won't do any good to survive the impact if they can't get out of the plane. And if they don't find that jettison handle, they might never get out. If Cory and Randy go down at sea, after impact, icy cold water will fill the cockpit in seconds.
It was a very eerie feeling. Your sinuses fill up, you're disoriented, you have no idea where you're at, you can't see anything. You have to use your position points to locate your emergency exit and to get out, all while holding your breath. And if you got in there and didn't have a plan, didn't know what you're doing, I don't think you'd make it.
I could feel that little bit of fear or panic start to creep in a little bit, and it's not a good feeling at all.
While the going is still good, Cory wants to take off.
If we wait a few more hours, there'll just be embedded thunderstorms in the clouds. So we've got a window of just a short time to get off the ground to be able to make our destination where we'll be stuck somewhere.
Ready, cowboy? I'm ready.
Today's flight to Goose Bay, Canada will be overland. From there on, it's do or die. Back down south, over the Caribbean Sea, Carrie and Stu are playing chicken with a monster hurricane over 600 kilometers wide.
Stop the right of her nose, that's not good. 1 hour till hurricane time.
Carrie's gambling the Beechcraft Bonanza can outrun the storm and leave disaster in his rearview mirror.
Got a couple of lightning strikes on the storm scope, yep. And there is a big thunderstorm right in front of us. That one right there, that's huge. Yeah. That one there is huge. I just saw lightning. We might be screwed.
If they can beat the storm, Stu has a chance to make it back to New York for the 9/11 memorial of the terror attacks.
If this hurricane delays us by a day, then I'm going to be left with having to make a very difficult decision on whether I can complete the trip or possibly not go to New York.
There's some pretty serious airplanes that have been destroyed in the air just by thunderstorm stuff, not a category 2 or 3 hurricane.
We got to be careful too, though, because we're losing daylight.
Yeah.
If we go off course too far, we're going to get there after dark.
The 6-cylinder engine powers the Bonanza to a top speed of over 300 kilometers per hour, and they're knocking off some serious mileage. But their flight path is starting to look like a kamikaze mission. The aging Cessna has delivered Randy and Cory safely to their first fuel stop. Now they prepare to go head-to-head with the unforgiving and potentially deadly North Atlantic.
Well, Capitan, here we go.
Here we go.
Dude, my stomach's turning a little bit.
What do you mean by that?
You feeling all right, man?
Putting on these survival suits brings home the danger.
Reality's setting in. This is a big flight. This is by far the most dangerous flight I've ever done. I just want to stay dry.
If the crash doesn't kill them, the cold water will, in about 15 minutes. These high-tech survival suits might keep their blood warm and their hearts pumping, long enough to get picked up alive by a rescue team.
It's gonna be hard to zip these up sitting down, you know?
In the tiny Cessna, there's no way and no time to put these suits on in an emergency, so they have to fly half zipped in.
The suit is like a full dry suit, and plus it has a liner in there to help keep your body warm. And so they're very bulky, they're hard, they're sweaty on the inside because it doesn't allow any water to get in at all. I mean, all the way from your toes up to your neck, you're trapped in that suit.
All right, she's climbing nicely.
This is no dress rehearsal. It's showtime.
No more land. We will not see land for many hours. Probably 99.9% of the people in the world that have never taken a single engine piston across the Atlantic. You know that?
What's that say about us?
We're badass mofos.
The first leg goes without a hitch.
Just get us there, old Cessna.
They dropped in on a Greenland airstrip and refueled. Now they're back up, looking at more than 1,000 kilometers of white-knuckled flying before their next stop, Reykjavik, Iceland.
Headwind's picking up. We just lost 5 knots in the last 5 minutes. Down to 122 knots ground speed.
It's been 20 hours since they left Rhode Island, and they'll be rubbing elbows in this cramped cockpit for at least another 5 hours before the next pit stop.
Your speed just keeps declining.
On this flight, it seems something is always going wrong, and they're starting to feel like they're riding in a flying coffin.
What's our ground speed? 99 knots.
Ground speed is the measure of the Cessna's speed relative to the Earth. And right now, a headwind is slowing down the plane, forcing the pilots to burn more fuel than they estimated.
But we can't maintain 95, 96 knots ground speed. We won't make it. We're gonna have to have some seriously improving performance, man, or we're gonna make this gonna be a short trip.
If the headwinds keep up at the current rate, their tanks could run dry before they reach their destination. So Cory does the math.
Okay, Randy, here's basically what I came up with. It took us 45 minutes to get to cruising altitude. We're right at that hour of fuel reserve with everything staying the same. I mean, it's right on that verge. I mean.
Before this trip, Cory's team built an extra fuel tank to extend the Cessna's range. They rigged the homemade 58-gallon tank into the passenger compartment, an additional piece of cargo that gives them enough fuel to cross the Atlantic. But it's like riding in a flying bomb.
Can only go out this way for about another 20 or 30 minutes, or we're gonna have to turn around and go back.
I got no choice.
But now, even with the extra tank, the fuel levels are running dangerously low, and Randy's getting worried because they're approaching the point of no return.
I think whatever we're gonna do, we gotta do it now, figure it out now.
The point of no return is a go or no-go decision for a pilot. You only have the fuel to go forward, so even if you want to turn around, you can't make it.
I want you to look in that tank and tell me what you see. Or maybe I should do it, because I know I've been looking back there. I'll have a better gauge of how much fuel's in there. Okay. I'm gonna transfer control to you, okay? You have the airplane, I'm gonna unbuckle and go mess with this fuel tank. You have the airplane? Got the airplane.
The auxiliary fuel tank doesn't have a gauge, so Randy has to eyeball what fuel is left.
This is really difficult with these suits on, man. They're a pain in the ass. Oh, what was that? Okay? I'm taking off the cap. All of a sudden, that thing just flies up. It was like an explosion, man. I took a huge whiff of fumes, man, and I don't feel too good.
Fuel under high pressure just blew out of the tank into the cabin, and now it won't take more than a tiny spark to explode.
If I could choose one way not to die, I don't want to be burned to death. I think it's awful. And in an airplane, if you have a fire, it's something that can kill you very quickly, and there's nothing you can do.
Those fumes were nasty. All the electronics we got in here, fuel will burn, the vapors explode, and geez, we gotta be careful, man. We gotta keep this thing well ventilated.
Randy cracks open a window to clear out the gas fumes.
Do you need to check your pants, man? Did you hear me yell? I screamed like a little schoolgirl.
When the fuel tank blew in my face, I was able to, for whatever reason, keep my cool and keep operating that airplane. If you panic and quit thinking, you're dead, period.
But it's still a long way to the next pit stop. Back down south in the Caribbean, pilots Kerry McCauley and Stu Sprung are avoiding a fight they were guaranteed to lose by steering the Beechcraft Bonanza around a deadly hurricane.
It's gonna add about an hour or so onto our trip. Kind of stretch our fuel a bit. But we kind of got to do it now, because that looks pretty nasty. I don't want to wait until we're right in it. Let's run away and live to fly another day.
They veer off to avoid the monster winds and violent rains.
Boy, I'm really glad we got that hurricane behind us. I mean, that was a real stress builder.
It says St. Martin at 6. Would you say what sunset was? 7:30. So if we can turn and burn in an hour, be there by 7.
No, we'll be there. Wait, it's only 3 hours to St. Martin. 3.5.
The good news is Hurricane Katia won't win this fight by a knockout. The bad news is the detour puts them in St. Martin after dark, and flying blind is never fun.
What really gets screwy with these islands at night is completely surrounded with blackness and just this little tiny strip of lights.
St. Martin, finally.
Hurricane missed you guys, huh?
We're always great when they're lucky when they miss us.
Kind of wanted to see it. I wanted to get a little closer. But yeah, it's not my airplane, so I should probably take good care of it. The owner might not appreciate hurricane damage. That's right.
A safe landing makes any day a good day. But Stu has other things and places on his mind.
Something will jam us up. I guarantee it. For me, when you get as lucky as we have on this trip, it's almost a sign that something's going to come down the chute and screw it all up. Every corner I turn, I'm expecting it. Every day, 2 or 3 things come up that could cause potential delays. We just don't know what they are until they hit us.
Back up north, Cory and Randy are approaching Iceland with 30 minutes of fuel to spare and enough fumes in their jury-rigged tank to blow them halfway to the moon.
Wow, Cory, you come a long way on your fuel calculation since Australia. Go f yourself.
If Randy is unimpressed by his co-pilot's flight skills, he's not saying too much, because the co-pilot on this flight is also the boss, and he's signing the checks.
Let's get out of here, huh?
That flight did not disappoint. The wind was terrible. Fuel problem.
That just makes it interesting, man.
That's right. Makes for a good story later,
yeah.
Right? As long as you make it.
Yeah.
Small businessmen like Cory don't survive long without learning how to cut a few corners. But there's something about flying a single-engine plane across the ocean that can make even the toughest men think twice.
This vent is supposed to be attached, and that starts to give me a clue to some of the problems we may have been having while we were having the explosion. Something not right with that. We gotta get a mechanic to take a look at that.
If the tank of extra fuel blew its top because it wasn't venting properly, Randy doesn't want that to happen again.
It doesn't look good. This thing is really up. And
something you can fix quickly, you think?
well, no, not quickly.
You know, we're really trying to get out of here.
Yeah, I believe that. So.
Randy and the mechanic both know they'll need at least a day or more to make the fix and to do it right. But for Cory, it's another crippling setback. He's over a month behind on the delivery of this plane. His reputation is on the line.
We've got to get the plane to the client, and there's a chance we're going to be here 3 or 4 days.
As for Randy, he's willing to do whatever it takes to deliver the plane safely, even if it means pulling rank on his co-pilot and boss. Way down south in the tropics, close to the equator, Carrie and Stu's Beechcraft Bonanza is 24 hours away from reaching their final destination, and their spirits are high.
Is this an old ferry trick, ferry pilot trick that you have with the GPS? If we got a ditch in the ocean, I would like to ditch in front of a cruise ship because we'd be in the hot tub with a margarita within the hour. Where do I shut off the gas?
These pilots only met a few days ago, but the adventure has already turned them into old friends. It doesn't always work out that way.
Two pilots are flying together and their personalities don't click. It's really going to be a problem. 36 hours shoulder to shoulder with another guy will not be a lot of fun if you don't get along. You have a great sense of humor, shrug off the problems, and just keep flying. You'll have a great trip and you'll make a great ferry pilot.
Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to get some gas, file a flight plan, and hopefully make this stop less than an hour.
They're halfway through today's flight plan. If things keep going along, they'll reach Brazil by sundown.
All right, fueled up, ready to go. Flight plan's filed.
Not so fast. They're having issues with the registration for this plane, and they can't get permission for us to land in Brazil, so we can't take off.
On any other flight, a delay like this would be no big deal. But Stu has made it clear from the start. He promised his firefighter brothers he would be in New York for the 9/11 memorial, even if it means abandoning his captain today.
Hey, Cory, it's Stu. How you doing? So nothing from even the FAA, right?
This should have been done 2 weeks ago. Why do they wait till we're moments from entering Brazil to say, oh, hey, by the way, we...
Literally about to take off.
Why boss Cory didn't get the Brazilian paperwork done is a mystery. But if Stu bails out now, Cory will need a lot more than paperwork. He'll need a new pilot.
This is the delay that can't happen. This is not a small leg. It's not a leg that we can make up the next day. This is a whole day right here, down the tubes. We did make it through a hurricane, but we can't make it through Brazilian paperwork.
No pilot lands in a foreign country without permission. unless he's looking for free room and board.
Yeah, I don't feel like going to the Brazilian jail.
The only thing about that is they'll probably only take one of us to jail.
Yeah, but they always take the pretty one.
I'll make sure, I'll bring you some smokes in prison.
That's why I love you, man. You're always thinking of me, my well-being.
I know.
How can you make me comfortable in a Brazilian prison? Man, I'm touched. I'm so touched that you were thinking of me.
How's it going?
All that's left to do is kill time in town and hope for news from the office before it's too late.
Oh, Harry, you're gonna love this.
What?
It's currently Independence Day in Brazil, so I'm having a hard time getting in touch with anybody.
No way.
But Stu doesn't have to say what they both know all too well. Time is running out fast. Cory and Randy have flown more than halfway across the frozen North Atlantic seas. And after being grounded for 48 hours in Iceland for repairs, the two of them are just dying to fly.
All right, buddy, it's game time. Let's get spooled up and let's get out of here. Okay? Gotta try and make up some of this time.
And Cory's got a lot to make up.
It's game day. We need to get this plane down to Poland. We have a job to do. The clients are waiting for us. Assuming that the weather is cooperating, we'll be in the air early and we'll get going.
The next leg will stretch the range of the old Cessna 206. Once again, they'll be relying on that homemade fuel tank, and Randy wants to make sure it doesn't explode again.
This flight's no joke. We've got about 600 miles of open ocean. We can't let down our guard now, because if this flight's taught you anything, the unexpected is gonna happen.
The next leg is a 6-hour journey to Scotland across the unforgiving North Atlantic. It's a lot of time in a single-engine plane, with no place to land if anything goes wrong.
We should already be there by now.
Cory's flying the same plane, but he's being driven by a different kind of engine, the money machine.
You gotta move quick, the wind's getting stronger.
Let's go, let's do it.
To Randy, Cory sounds less and less like a co-pilot, and more like a nervous businessman.
He's got to realize that flying, there's no mistakes. We got one shot at it. Hey, listen, I'm gonna fly this leg. You haven't been taking this flight seriously enough. I want to drive that point home with you, okay? So you're not gonna fly this leg, I'm gonna fly it until you start taking it a little more seriously. Whatever you want.
Cory might be the boss, but Randy puts his foot down. This is one business where a shortcut can lead to disaster.
Got our checklist? Seatbelts, doors, and locks.
In the tropical heat of Guyana, Carrie and Stu have finally received authorization to land on Brazilian soil.
We've gotten the proper paperwork. CV was able to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
They're a full day behind schedule, and Stu's appointment with the New York 9/11 Memorial is coming up fast.
All right, let's get the show on the road.
Today doesn't go perfect. He's not going to be able to finish the trip and get to New York on time.
Gear up. Gear up.
Carrie is determined to do whatever it takes to make Stu finish the job. That's why he's decided to fly 2,700 kilometers from Georgetown, Guyana to Goiânia, Brazil, with just one fuel stop.
Wow, what is that? Looks like a huge cliff and some, wow, this is cool.
This is the kind of flight that can remind even the most jaded pilot why he fell in love with flying.
Look at this. Holy cow. That's huge. The whole thing just looks like it's out of the Lost World or something. Look at that. Wow. Unbelievable. Pretty impressive. Oh my God, awesome. You know, this is why I ferry fly. Who else gets a chance to do this? I got a new high point of my life. That was, woo, that was cool.
Over 1,000 kilometers later, they drop into Macapá for refueling and customs clearance. But there's a problem.
Él habla inglés. Es más tarde para el customs.
Mañana. Mais ou menos.
Customs apparently is closed for the day, so that's can't be done. The runway is closed from 8 to noon for they're working on the runway. 8 to noon tomorrow.
It's like, really? I mean...
It's the bad news Stu had feared all along.
I have to say I'm a little speechless right now. There's no effing way I'm gonna be able to make it from here to anywhere else and make it to New York. This is my last stop. I'm done.
For Stu, this flight is over. But he still has to break the news to his boss, Cory, who's now flying as co-pilot on the flight to Poland.
It's the big blow that we were hoping wouldn't happen.
Up north, Cory and Randy reach the green highlands of Scotland. After flying the shaky Cessna over thousands of kilometers of treacherous ocean, the rolling hills below their wings have let them forget about their differences.
Well done, Capitan. By the time we landed, I was really excited and like, wow, that was great. By the time we parked that airplane, I had tanked. I was really tired, really almost not even thinking quite straight anymore.
They might be exhausted, but Cory isn't wasting any time. He's determined to keep moving.
You have to have incredible stamina to do this type of flying. We put in a lot of hours in the cockpit every day. We don't get a ton of sleep, and we're expected to get up and do it the next day.
Sometimes, a pilot has nothing left to run on but sheer willpower.
It's very physically challenging. Jumping time zones, being at altitude where the air is less, and so that takes a physical toll on you. It knocks you on your ass sometimes.
That was a good one, dude. Man, I'm like fighting it hard over here.
Cory wants to be in Poland before sunset.
Next is the final destination into Poland. It's a little grass strip that we're going to be delivering the airplane to, so we've got to hurry and turn and burn and get it there. So, almost done. One more leg left.
That gives them just 2 hours to get the Cessna ready for takeoff. But Randy has just discovered they might need a little more time.
We have a strut problem. Our strut's starting to give us some issues, so need a few minutes to think it over and do a little further investigation on the airplane and a little closer look at the weather, and then I'll make a decision whether we're gonna go or not.
The strut connecting to the front landing gear is leaking oil. It's not bad enough to ground the Cessna, but if landing conditions aren't perfect, on touchdown, it could make the plane hard to handle, and Randy isn't going to chance it.
At our destination, which I just found out is a grass field, we're supposed to have rain showers and winds gusting 20 knots, gusting to 35 knots. That may keep us here for another day.
Randy knows that even without the faulty strut, a soggy runway and a strong crosswind could snap the Cessna's landing gear.
Right now, we're not sure the plane's ready, and we're not sure the weather's going to be good enough, so.
We need to get going, though. I mean, we have to get it there tonight.
We don't have to do anything. If it gets too late, we'll just have to stay.
Cory may be the boss, but Randy's word is law, and he's not backing down. A few hours later, Cory catches a lucky break.
Where I think we can go.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's looking good.
Let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
The weather cleared, so Randy said okay to setting out on the final leg to Poland.
Randy, it's going to be interesting when we land here in a couple minutes.
I know, man. We don't know what to expect. I mean, she could be really upset with us. She could be really happy. We don't know.
Now that they'll be landing soon, their thoughts have turned to their last and potentially biggest problem. one hard-nosed, no-nonsense Polish customer.
I think she's just extremely frustrated with the situation because this plane was supposed to be here almost a month ago.
Hey, Cory, we're almost there. Let's do it right.
All right, boss. There is a concrete strip right there.
The concrete runway should be a lot safer than a dirt strip.
Yeah, it's concrete, but it's all broken up.
It's pretty cracked.
But there's only one way to find out if the leaky strut can absorb the shock of a bumpy landing. And now that the new owner is watching their final approach, they'd better put on a good show.
All right, Cory, this is it.
Speed's looking good. Everything's looking good.
Let's hope this runway surface is good.
Pretty bumpy.
Yikes.
It's a good thing the customer's only watching from a distance, because it's one rough landing. But the gear holds up.
Well done, bro. Well done.
Hello. Congratulations, we finally got it here for you. There's the keys.
Thank you so much.
How are you? I'm Cory Benson.
Fine.
Nice
Hello.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We brought you a little present.
Thank you.
As well as the plane that you've been waiting for forever,
This
huh?
is my present.
Yeah.
Her skydiving school has been hemorrhaging money on the rental of another plane. But now that she's got her Cessna, she'll soon be out of the red. And that means Cory finally has a happy customer.
We definitely went through a lot for him, and you know, that's our job, and we're happy to do it. Well, it's better late than never. We got her here safely.
When we finally land and they're frustrated because it's a few days late, it's like, wait a minute, we just put our lives in our hand. We just crossed the ocean in a single engine piston, and come on.
Way down south in the tropics,
Hey, Cory, it's Stu. How you doing?
Carrie and Stu's mad race against time has come to an abrupt stop.
We just landed in Macapá. Customs was closed early, so we can't do any customs until tomorrow morning at 8. And the runway is closed for maintenance from 8 until noon tomorrow.
Stu is on the phone with boss Cory, who's just landed in Poland, and he's giving Cory the bad news. He's bailing out.
That basically kills it, so yeah, I'd be committed to leaving from here. So you're gonna come all the way down here to take my spot?
Stu is going to New York to the 9/11 memorial, and Cory is flying into Macapá to replace him, which means Carrie is temporarily grounded.
You're kidding me. Oh, shit. Am I forbidden to continue on? Can I meet him at the next stop? I mean, for me to sit here with a good airplane and...
The way Stu tells it, he held up his part of the bargain, but he's still splitting up the team and leaving a job unfinished.
It's tough for me to leave you because I'm worried that it's leaving you stranded.
Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Yeah, it'll probably be easier. I won't have to listen to your boring stories. All right. I've done tons of trips like these, and far more dangerous, far more difficult by myself. To have someone come down here to help me for the last third of the trip is really unnecessary and just drives me nuts to have to wait.
Next time on Dangerous Flights, Cory steps in to finish the job, and Carrie puts him to the test.
This is definitely not the job for a would-be pilot.
while Randy takes on his toughest challenge yet, flying into war-torn Africa in a type of plane he's never flown before.
Company operations manual is there.
That's a lot of reading.
So you're an airline pilot, man. You'll figure it out.